y'all, it's Bethany with the Gypsy Bird Makes podcast. Welcome to episode 8. I'm so glad to have you guys all joining us today. If you're a new viewer or an old returning viewer, not old, but just a returning viewer, I'm so happy to have you. I have lots to share with you today, and I hope that you're going to find it interesting and seeing what I got done in the month of August. So you will notice it is a green background behind us now. So we are now in Kentucky, and I'll talk a little bit more about our journey here and all that jazz at the end of the episode. But if you want to watch our moving vlog, I will put it up here or up here. I don't remember which side it is. I think it's this side. But I'll put the link for those videos up there for you. But I did get a few things finished in August that I am really excited to chat with you about. So let's go ahead and move on to works in progress. No, not works in progress, to finished objects. If you watched my prepping for the move vlog, you will have seen that I did finish my Marvelous Shawl, or Marvelous Shawl, by Leslie Ann Robinson, and I love it so much. So I have some really great pictures and a little video that I'm going to put in over my talking so you can see exactly how beautiful this shawl is. Last month I was a little worried about the colors and the brown and how it was going to look, but it's absolutely gorgeous. I love it. When I blocked it, it just opened up completely and became stunning. So I'm going to show you what the colors are real fast. I think I actually have the labels like an actual podcaster. And I'll show you how much I have left of each one as well. So I used a US 4 for this, which is, I believe, what the pattern called for. Let me double check that. I have it pulled up. Yes, a US 4 is what Leslie calls for, so that's what I did for this. I ended up using 1,035 yards in total from all three. It's a pretty big shawl. It opened up tremendously when I blocked it, and I aggressively blocked it, so I pulled it pretty hard because I wanted it to be big and be oversized and kind of like a blanket for my arms. So I love it. I actually haven't used it any yet because I was wanting to show it off on the podcast first, and I didn't want to snag it on anything. So yes. Okay, so the first yarn is this beautiful brown, and this is from Barnyard Knits. If I can get the dog hair off of it. There we go. So this is Barnyard Knits in Campfire, and I used 60 grams of this color. So I have like 40 grams left. I'm so excited to make something else with it because it's a beautiful tonal, sort of. And then the next color, which is this beautiful green. Oh, hold on. Let me show you this real fast. This is Barnyard Knits label with Campfire. And then the next one is by my friend Natalie of Blush Yarns. Her label. Her yarn's amazing. Hers is like a twist. I'm not exactly sure, but it's definitely got a twist to it. But I used 76 grams of this color, so I have about 25 grams left. So I'll be able to use that for something fun. And then the last color, which you're not really seeing very much, but is this beautiful multicolor. This is what I actually was like, I'm going to use that in the shawl, and kind of got the other colors to go with it. Is by Madeline Tosh. This is the first time I'd ever used their yarn, and I really liked it, so I'll be using it more. And it's their Twist Lite. And I used, it says 110 grams, but I think I have like 1 or 2 grams left out of the whole skein. So this is all I have left. A very, very little amount, which is really funny because it looks like it's the smallest portion of the shawl, but I guess it's the longest point. So that's all I have from those. So I think I used up a good amount. I thought I was going to use more of the brown than I did. But yeah, not bad for 3 skeins out of my stash. There we go, all of those. So it was so funny because I was looking at the finished shawls after I finished mine a couple nights ago actually, and someone else had made this shawl in almost the exact same color scheme as me, but her colors were swapped a little bit. I'll put a picture in for you and put her Ravelry name. And I was just like, wow, that's so funny that we both finished it so close together and used almost the exact same colors. So this was a big finished object. It was the biggest finished object of August. I wanted it done before we moved, and I succeeded with about, I think I finished it Saturday or Sunday, and we left Thursday. So I didn't rush it too bad, but it was pretty cool. I really love it. I don't feel like I'm really a shawl girl, but I don't know. I like making them, so maybe I'll just make them. So that was my big finished object of August. It was my main goal for August, and it was checked off the list. So another couple notes on the shawl is that I absolutely love it. When I first picked out this pattern, I didn't know if I was going to be able to actually make it. It looked like a really complicated pattern and one of those like, oh, I could never make that type thing. But Leslie did a really, really great job with her pattern. Her increasing is in bold in her patterns, and it's easy to follow. And yeah, I really loved following her pattern, so I'm gonna be making more of her patterns in the future. But I'm really proud of myself for making it with all the brioche increases and decreases, and the parts that I really messed up on, well, I did a lot of tinking. Like, I don't think there's been a project that I've tinked so much in my life. I really wanted it to look right and to look good, so I did a lot of tinking. But the lace patterns I just could not get in my head for some reason. Every time I started a lace section, I had to rip back every time. I don't know what it was, but my brain just did not want to focus on the complexity of the lace, even though I feel like the brioche was more complex. But it is done, it is stunning, and I'm excited to use it. I'm definitely getting more use of it here in Kentucky than I would have in Texas, although that's not true. You'll have to wait later to hear why. But yes, it is gorgeous. It grew so much. I had it on these little needles. I think they were probably like, I'm not sure how big the needles were, but they couldn't have been more than like a 40-inch needle. So it grew so much when I blocked it. It was crazy. But yeah, I'm really happy that I did. It's nice and big, it's beautiful, and now I'm going to use it all the time since I've shown you guys. My next finished object is a pair of socks for my youngest. So I will have made socks with the same yarn that I made for my middle kiddo last month, and you would have seen those. But these are vanilla sockies for Grayson, and I just used the opposite of the yarn. This yarn I got in a swap with my friend Shelly, and she is from Australia, so this is Australian yarn. It is Fiber Lily, and the green is called Curse, and then the blue, that is the heel, and also just a little pop around the top. I don't know if that was in focus at all, so I'm sorry. But the little blue here and here, that is called Just Keep Swimming. And I do have what I have left, because I don't have very much left of these. So they were 50 grams each, and I was able to get 2 pairs of socks out of it for my boys, and my boys don't have very small feet. So this is all I have left. Come on, yeah, focus. Oh. That's all I have left of these 2 skeins. So I would say I use those up very well. These will go in my little under 5 gram baggie that I have. I have no idea what I'm going to do with those, but woo, I'm throwing it everywhere. Anyways, that was well use of that skein. So I'm going to go ahead and put those away and be good. And my son's gonna be happy because he can now have these socks. These have been done since the 12th, so I haven't let him have them yet. But I just did a vanilla sock. I think I did 56 stitches, a shadow wrap heel. Yeah, just a regular old sock. This was, I can't remember what pair of summer sock camp. It must have been number 7, I think. This was number 7 for summer sock camp, which is now over. So I'm going to give you a total of all of my socks later on. But that was the other whip that I had. Or whip, finished objects. My head is all over the place today. So the next finished object that I have is another pair of socks. This yarn I got last month from my friend Lacey. She is Mermaid Tales Yarn Co. on Etsy. She'll be linked down below. This yarn is called Neon Lights, and I got it specifically to make socks for my daughter because she is a teenager and, you know, she likes dark things because she's my little goth teenager. But I used Natalie of Knitty Natty's Perfect Fit course formula to make her socks. I did a 1x1 twisted rib on this sock. I also have the second sock here, and did a fish lips kiss heel, and yeah, that was that. These I knit a lot on our road trip, so these actually got done really fast. I finished them in about 5 days. I think I did up to the heel during our road trips on both because I had them both going at the same time. I do have quite a bit of yarn left. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this little bit of yarn, but I think I have, oh, I didn't write it down. Oh yes, I have 52 grams left, so it only took 48 to do the pair for her. So she will also be happy that she can have her socks now. I've been holding it from them and not letting them have them, so they will be happy. And then the final, well, it's kind of a finished object, but it's not really. But another finished object that I had are these Journey socks that I made. Come on, focus. So Journey socks is a pattern. It's called Journey, I think, by Margaret on Ravelry. Also, my project page will be linked down below, and it'll have the link for you to follow. My friend Stephanie was so sweet and gifted me this pattern after my last podcast where I was like, I don't know if I want to pay $8 for it, and it just arrived in my email, so that was very sweet. Thank you. And since Stephanie did purchase the pattern for me, I used some yarn that Stephanie gifted me as well to make them because I thought that was fitting. So this yarn is Yule by Dragon Horde Yarn, and Stephanie gifted me a 50-gram skein of it, and I loved using it. So when I wear these, I will think of Stephanie. But for these, I used about 30 grams to make a whole pair, which, I mean, that's not bad at all. So I was a little apprehensive probably about this pattern because I'd heard some people liked it, some people didn't. I'd heard that, you know, it only had one size and things like that. So I was like, let's see how it goes. So I made these in a day. If I hadn't taken a nap that day, I would have finished them in less than 24 hours. They were super fast to knit. I do plan to make more. I think that my mom would really like quite a few of these. She loves like footy type socks. So I plan to make more of these, but I'm gonna do a few things differently. So it is a paid for pattern, so I'm not going to go into the construct of it, but I'm going to plan to make the heel flap longer and also make the circumference of the foot smaller than what the pattern is written for, and or go down a needle size. So the needle size in the pattern is a 1.5, which is a 2.5 millimeter needle, and that is what I used. but normally I would use a 1, which is a 2.25, which is what I use for the other socks that I didn't mention. That's what I used. And I do magic loop on Chiaogu needles all the time. So I'm either gonna change the pattern around a little bit, go down in needle size, or both. Probably both. So yeah, I'll probably do that soon. It's getting kind of chilly here at night and in the house especially, so I will probably be wearing like little footies like this. And I also want to make some for my mom, so I'm going to try to get it all sorted, and I think I'll get a formula down for my foot. But I like the pattern a lot. There is another pattern that I want to try that are similar to these, and it's called the Everyday Sock. I'm gonna put it on the screen for you. I don't remember who it's by. I think it's, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I have it written down here. Those look very similar, but they also look different. So I want to try, those look like they have more substance to them. I don't know if it's the yarn or if it's the way it's constructed, but I definitely want to try that pair, and that's probably what I'll do next before making another journey pair, just to see which one I like better. But I really enjoyed making this pair, and there's definitely more in my future. So thanks, Stephanie. I have one more finished object, sort of. It's kind of going to be a lingering whip that's also a finished object. You'll see what I mean in just a second. So my thinking is, I have made so many socks, like so many socks, and my kids and husband could all do some more, so I'll continue to be making them socks, but I don't want any more socks really. I mean, I think I'll make some specific socks for me, but I need something vanilla to knit that isn't socks, because my go-to was always, I don't want to work on anything complicated tonight, I'll just make a sock. But then, you know, sometimes there's just too many socks. So I decided to start making something else that I could do that would be vanilla once I got it in my head and could use up a whole bunch of scraps at the same time. So what I decided is to make some, let me show you, some little preemie baby hats. So this is one of the preemie hats that I made. I've done this previously when I was into crochet big time about 6 years ago or so. I made so many crochet preemie hats, all sizes, like from newborn to like the tiniest little babies. I made like probably 100 or more of these hats, and I Love This Cotton by Hobby Lobby, and I made them, and my husband is a NICU nurse, so he would either take them to work with him and gift them to like babies in the hospital that he was at, or I also donated it to the NICU where my son was born, where all my kids were born actually, but only one of them was in the NICU. So I donated a whole bunch to them. I made like little receiving blankets for babies who pass away, and they want something like a little token to put them in and take pictures, and then you know, something the parents could take home with them. So I made a bunch of those before. So I was like, why don't I just make some little baby hats, because that will be something vanilla, something using up those scraps, and something that can go towards good. So that's what I've been doing. So I ended up making 5 of these. So I made 3 in the Southern Storytime These Aren't the Droids You're Looking For, which I made my Perfect Fit socks out of. So they're all just slightly different, but all pretty much the same. I used a free pattern on Ravelry, which is called Preemie Baby Hats by Karen Everett. And it'll be linked down below also. And then I also made 2 out of the yarn that I used to make my journey socks. So I used up the last bit of that yarn. The pattern calls for a US 2, but when I was making them, I only had, I made the first one in the car ride on the first day that we were traveling to Kentucky. So I only had my US 1s with me, and I used those, and I think that they turned out great. Brian was like, yeah, those are going to fit the babies just fine. They won't be too big or too small. So, so I made those, and they each take between 7 and 9 grams. So it's really a small amount of yarn, but I have so many scraps that I'm really looking forward to using and being able to donate them. So I'm going to keep a count of how many I make each month, and then I'll wash them and send them off with Brian to work when I have a good bunch. I plan to do a couple different patterns. I have them all favorited on my Ravelry favorites. So there's a couple different ones, a couple paid ones, a couple not. And then there's also a little baby cardigan that I'm thinking I might want to make a few of. So we'll see. It's just something to do other than socks. And they're really quick. Like, you can make them in just 2-3 hours. It's super fast. I think I made 2 in a night when watching TV. So they're really fast, but I really like them. So this will be, hopefully it'll be something that I keep doing each month, and I'll tell you a tally of how many I made and of what pattern I made. So those are all of my finished objects. Okay, so I just have a couple of works in progress to show you. These are ones that I've been talking about, but one you haven't seen yet. So let's go ahead and dive into those. The first one is going to be my Twisted T-shirts by the Little Wolf Knits, Brianna. And I am making this alongside my friend Stephanie. We both cast on a few days ago, and I think she's a little farther than me because she knit quite a bit today. But we are both on the waistband of these shorts, so we're super excited to start these. I don't know if she has any pictures up, but if she does, I'll post one for you. But let's talk about yarn first so we can tell you everything I'm making. So I did a swatch. Look at me go. I did a big swatch because I didn't know if I was going to need the yarn, and I didn't want to do like the fake swatch in the round and then need that yarn. I don't think I'm gonna need the yarn, but just in case. So this is my swatch. I started off with the needles that were recommended, and they were a US 5, and that was way too big. When I saw that it was a US 5, I think it's US 5. I'm pretty sure. Let me double check. But when I saw the needle size, I was like, I think that's going to be a little too big for me. Because, yeah, it was. So I did a few rows in that. Like, I cast on with that and did a few rows in my swatch. Yeah, a US 5. Way too big. Way too big for me. But for Stephanie, she got gauge with that. So it worked out great for her. But I just couldn't do that. So I went and looked at my friend Natalie of Knitty Natty's page, because she just made these recently, to see what size she made them out of. And she used a US 3. And I was like, that sounds more realistic for what I want to do. So I did my swatch. It's like 50 stitches. It's really huge. But you can see it's all there. And then I just put it on some barber cords. I did my swatch and I blocked it and did all that, and I got, I'll show you what I got. Where's my gauge? Okay, so I got 24 stitches per 4 inches and 48 rows per 4 inches. So the gauge of the actual pattern is 25 stitches and 30 rows. So I'm 1 stitch off on the stitch count, just 1, and I think once I block it and everything, it's going to be just fine. And I'm just going to have to maybe knit a few more rows then, or a few less rows, no, more. I'm gonna have to do something with the rose, but that's fine because I'm kind of manipulating the pattern to do what I want. But so what I'm doing with these, as you can see, is this beautiful bright colors. This is all stash yarn, which I'm really excited about, but I am helically knitting the two main colors together, and this yarn is by Woolly Mama Yarn Co. in the UK. So this one is Mutant Mermaid, and this one is LimeWire. And this is what it looks like when you put them together. Those two colors together, which I think looks fabulous. I'm also stealing that idea from Natalie. She did that with hers with a different yarn brand, but it's working out the same. And this is, there we go. That is the tag for Woolly Mama Yarns. I've had this yarn for over a year, and I'm really excited to be using it. I didn't know what I wanted to use it for, and this was the perfect project. So I'm really excited about that. And then, let me put these back in here. Excuse me. Then my waistband, and I guess it's contrast color. It's the waistband and the band on the legs. Is from Life in the Long Grass, which is it Irish? I always have to look. Yes, it's an Irish dyer, and this color is Sailor Moon. And let me show you what I have so far. So you start off with a provisional cast on. So I'd only done that once before, and I had to re-look up how to do it and how to get out a crochet hook and all those things, but I did it. You can see, let me see if I can show you. Can you see? Oh, you can kind of see it there. But I have that on there, and I have done my little bit of beginning for that, and then started, you're going to, it's a folded hem, so we'll be folding it down like that, so it'll be nice and snug around my hips, hopefully. So yeah, this is like 2 full nights, I think, of working on it, so I don't think that's bad. I'm happy with the progress so far. And Stephanie's about the same. I am using a US 2 for the ribbing, and then I'll use a 3 for the body of the shorts. Now for sizing, it's going to be a little weird because everyone that, well, not everyone, but a lot of my friends who have made shorts, this pattern or another pattern, they've all turned out really big. So that is my fear, that I'm going to knit these and they're going to be way too big. So I did all my measurements of my body to what the pattern has, and also I measured shorts that I have that I really like, that are like my pajama lounging shorts that are really comfy. So I measured those as well and kind of put all those together and figured out what size I need. So my sizing is going to be different for each section. So my waist, and then my hips, and then my legs, they're all going to be different sizes. So let me see if I have it here. The sizes that I'm going to be doing, so I cast on for a size 7 for my waist, and then my hips were only about an inch bigger than my waist, so I'm either going to do a 4 or a 5 for that. And then my leg, I'm going to do a 5 or a 6. I'm going to try it on as I go and kind of just see how it is, but that is my plan thus far to do. Really excited about these. I'm also planning to not make the not the inseam, but the other part, I don't know what it's called. Like, I'm not going to make it as long as the pattern calls for. I'm probably going to do it a little shorter because I don't want it to be like up by my belly button. I want it to be lower. So the pattern calls for it to be a little of a high rise kind of, and that's just not my style. So we're gonna see how it goes once we get into the actual like shaping of the body and things like that. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I'm excited to finally have these cast on. I know me and Stephanie were both really excited to get them. We wanted to get other things off our needles, and I was moving and she's had stuff, so we finally got them cast on at the very end of August. So we're looking forward to finishing those. I'd like to finish them this month. I think that's doable, but we'll see. I kind of want to stay along with Stephanie's her, oh my gosh, what word am I looking for? Like speed, I guess. So not rushing her at all. I can take time because I have other things that I want to make too. So that was the first whip. I also forgot to say that this is in my Black Pearl Magic bag. I think this is her medium size. So I have it in that I'm housing it in, and I'm also using my Yarn Cozies. These are the Yarn Cozy Lite Knit by Knitty Natty. I use them for everything. And my little stitch marker that I haven't put on there yet is from Lock and Lou. Me and Stephanie both have the same one, so I thought that would be cute to use since we're making these together. And it's Chiago needles, of course. And then the next item is housed in a bag that my friend gave me. It's Harry Potter themed in purple, which is perfect for me. And then I have this cute little Notions pouch that is attached to the carabiner outside. I'll have them linked down below. I love them. They are so cute, and I've gotten like everybody that I know one of these because they're so fun. So this next item is my summer court tank by Dragon Horde Designs, and guys, it's gonna be so pretty. I'm so excited. So me and my sister Sabra decided to cast these on about a month ago. It was August 4th that we cast on, or that I cast on at least. I think she cast on the same day. But I made my little swatchy swatch. So this yarn is by Wool and Vinyl, and it is messaged in a bottle. It is an exclusive colorway to the Yarn Club in Norfolk, Virginia, but they do sell online. So if you are interested in this, you can always contact them. They were really great and got Wool and Vinyl to dye them some more so that I could purchase it, which I'm so grateful for, because I have one scheme. There's a whole debacle. There's a story like 1 or 2 episodes ago about that. I'm not going to do it again, but I'm so glad I have it. So this has also been size crazy. So we start, it's a from the bottom up tank, but both me and Sabra wanted more sizing around our midsections than we did our top sections. So thank you babies in pregnancy for that. But so we both started with a larger size on the bottom. I started with, I wonder what size 4. So the size 4 is what I cast on for the lace portion, which you can see right here. This is the lace, and it is beautiful. I actually added one section of lace because I knew that I didn't want this to be a cropped tank. I'm gonna wear a cami under it and gonna wear it longer because I am not a spring chicken, and the cropped thing's just not for me. So I decided to add an extra portion of the lace on there. And I'm really happy I did. I think I could have probably even done more, but when I block it, I'm probably going to be glad that I stopped where I did. But I really loved it. The lace was really easy to follow. Tristan only had it charted, and I just can't do charts. I get confused, and it just frustrates me. It's just a personal thing. So I went ahead and wrote out the whole chart. So if you have this pattern and you're like me and would like that, let me know. Send me a message on Instagram or Ravelry and just like show me that you have the pattern, and I will happily give you that, because for me, it was just a lifesaver. I sent it to Sabra, and we both were like, this is so much easier. It's just how my brain works. I just have to see it written out. So for pattern designers, doing both is amazing, because then I don't have to go through and figure it out myself. But it happens. So about, I want to say 4 nights ago, I had this almost completely finished. I'll pop in some photos of me looking like a hot mess, but trying this on. And I realized that it wasn't as long as I wanted it for one thing. I definitely wanted to add an inch or two to it. And then also the back was really, really baggy. And I don't know. I just don't feel like that's what I want it to be. I don't want it to have that baggy look in the back, and I may finish it for another time and realize that there was a reason it was like that. But so I decided to rip back, and I did that last night, and I ripped back to where you had like split for the boob section. This is what I've been calling it. And I took it back to that, and that was a whole mess because I had been helical knitting as well. So I got it figured out in the end. But I took it and I got it back to this, and then I added a couple inches. Oh, you can even see where can you tell where I've been shaping over here? That's crazy. I hadn't noticed that. But I was at my little donut, which I think it's Tiddly Little Bakes. I'm gonna put it on the screen of who makes this, but it's a best friend donut, and Sabra has the other side, so again, had to use this. So last night I added all from the donut up to here, which is probably like 1.5 inches or so, and I decreased the back. I decreased it down to size 1 stitches. So the front has the stitches that the front of a size 3 should have, and the back has the stitches of what a size 1 should have. And this afternoon, it's so hard to show this, but I bound off the back stitches with a three stitch I-cord. Oh, I don't know if it's focusing on that. There you go. But so I've done that. So now I have to do the front bit again, which I felt like when I tried it on before and had it done, that I had it as a size 3 then as well. The hips and everything are size 4, and then I had gone up to the size 3 all around, and realized the back was just a little too much fabric for me, and decided I wanted to lessen that but keep the front at a size 3. So the size 3 front worked really well. I think I'm gonna elongate the front a little bit. There's a section where you can do that. I think I'll do that for like 4 or 6 rows maybe, just to give it a little more, just give it a little more. And then I think everything else was going to be really great. So I think I could probably get this done maybe before this podcast goes up. And if I do that, I will put in some photos here for you of it finished, and then it could be considered a finished object for this month too. But if not, then I failed and I didn't get it done. But I'm really, really loving this. I love the pattern too. I think it's going to be really, really cute. We're going to Florida in October for a wedding, or a celebration of a wedding, and I'm excited because I think I'll be able to wear this with some jeans, and yeah, I think it'll be great. So, and it's been really fun making it with Sabra. I'm going to put in a photo of what hers looks like. Super pretty. Love the colors she picked. Yeah, it's going to be so great, and it's going to look fabulous on her. So that is my summer quart tank, and it is close to being done, even though it doesn't look like it, but I think I could get it done in the next couple days. So I think I'm going to work on this for the next couple days, and then go back to my shorts. Those are the only two things on my needles right now. It's crazy. Acquisitions. I almost had absolutely nothing for this segment until my mail lady came today. So I actually got 3 skeins of yarn this month, but 2 came, I think, right after I podcast, or I talked about them in the last podcast for my lacy boxy. So I got those from Sorella. I'll put in well, they're right here. I'll just show you. They're just these. They were part of her summer tonal. These were called Pearl. One is Surrey and one is just nylon sock, and those are going to be for my lacy boxy, which I haven't started yet, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And then today I ordered this skein back in mid-July, and I had to contact I think Emily and have her ship it to a different address than what I did, because yeah, it wasn't coming in time. So it was originally supposed to go to Lubbock, but it came here instead. So this is by Fangirl Fiber. And when I saw this, I just had to get it because of the name and the colors. What are we gonna show? Here we go. So this is a Stranger Things skein, obviously, and it is just beautiful. My daughter is obsessed with Stranger Things, and my husband's favorite colors are red and black, so this is like screaming their name. So my plan is to make them a couple of socks with this. I'm going to split it in like 50 and 50 and see. Might make my daughter some shorty socks and then make my husband some with contrasting toes, heels, and cuffs. So that should be a make for this upcoming month. And then I just ordered a bunch of stuff today because Natalie of Knitty Natty has her definition collection back out. I don't know how long she's going to have it. I would say probably for at least the month of September, but definitely when this podcast goes up on the 5th of September. I will have it linked down below, but I have loved wearing all the ones I got from her last collection. They are some of my most worn items, and yeah, I love them. So I ordered those, and they should be coming in and hopefully next week. So I will show those to you next month, and a couple of other things that I ordered that haven't come in yet. So next month there will be more to show you. I am excited to announce to the podcast that we are doing another make along, and this one is with Allison of the Naptime Knitting podcast. I did a whole video on this and posted it about 2 weeks ago, so you may have heard about this already and seen info, but if not, let me tell you what this make along is all about. It is a 2-month make along. It started September 1st and will run until Halloween, and we are shopping our stash. So this make along is called Shop Your Stash, and we are just wanting to use up some yarn in our stashes. So Allison came up with the idea, she came up with the name, she's really the brains behind it all, and I am kind of just co-hosting with her and enjoying doing this make along. Oh wow, we're gonna focus on Stormy. Sorry. There we go. Let me see if I can lock it on me. There we go. That's Stormy. I decided to say hello. But this make along is for using your stash. So I would say as long as you are using 700 plus yards from stash, you can buy new yarn to use with it. But the goal is to use at least 700 plus yards from your stash. So that means it needs to be like a 2+ skein project, like a 2 skein shawl like this one, which was 3, but I mean it probably used about 700, or a sweater, or cardigan, something like that. I had someone who said they were doing hats and mittens as a set, and I think that's fine because it is a group of items together. It is welcome to knit and crocheters, so we would love to see all those crochet items, all those knitted items. It also, whips are allowed, so as long as your whip was 50% or less done on September 1st, you are more than welcome to use that in the make along. You can also double dip, so if you're working on the Hohi make along, or you're doing the garment make along in the Love and Stitches, or like any other make along, feel free to double dip. That is more than okay with us. What else was there? All weights of yarn are good as long as it's 700 yards. So if you're making some really long bulky weight, something and it's 700 yards, that's awesome, because that's going to take a lot of skeins out of your stash. Anything else? I don't think so. Oh, the next thing is where to chat and where to have prizes. So we're going to have at least 2 prizes. I have a really exciting prize that's going to be coming for one of the giveaways, so that's exciting. Someone is volunteering to gift something, so I'm really excited about that. And then I, on my Ravelry group, have a chatter thread that is open, so come over and chat, show us your works in progress, show us what yarns you're using, what patterns you're using. Just come and chat. That's going to be on my Ravelry group, the Gypsy Bird Makes podcast. And then Allison is making her own group, which is the Naptime Knitting podcast. I don't know if she has that up yet or not, but as soon as she does, I'll link it in this video and also in the info video. And she's going to have the finished object thread for you guys. So you'll post your finished objects there, and we're going to pick a winner from both the chatter and from the finished objects. So we're really excited. I have all of Allison's information listed down below for you. So go check out her Ravelry, Instagram, and YouTube channel. She makes beautiful things, so you're going to be really inspired. And what she is making for this is just out of this world. It's going to be beautiful. So go check out her next podcast, because I'm sure she's going to talk about it there. And what I am making for this make along is I'm using my shorts, since they were less than 50%, and it's taking 3 skeins, so they will be part of that. And then also my lace and fade Boxy, I am going to be using that because I have all those leftovers that I'm using, and then the 2 skeins there. So yeah, I'm really excited to use those 2. And then also, I mean, my Shrug might also count, since I'm using at least 2 skeins out of stash as well. So those are my 3 goals. I'd love to get those 3 done by the end of October. So that would be, yeah, that's a pretty good goal. We'll try and do that. But we would love for you guys to join us in this make along. So comment down below if you're gonna come over and join us, and then go over to Ravelry and start chatting and showing us what you're making and seeing all the beautiful things that people are making, because it's gonna be a lot of fun. So hey. Future makes. So I have some plans for September and some goals for September of things I want to do. So I want to make socks with these. I will probably be winding this up tomorrow, or possibly tonight, probably tomorrow, and I'm casting on some socks for my daughter first, and then my husband probably. So that I will hope to have made this month. Another thing that I still want to cast on is my Boxy. This is the Lace and Fade Boxy by Locatelli. I talked about all of the yarns and everything last episode, so if you want to hear all about that, check that out. But hopefully this is at least cast on this month. I wanted to do it in August, but it just didn't happen. There was too much going on, so that's okay. It is still here waiting, and it is in a Mountain State Stitches bag, Mountain State Stitches, which I love. So that is one. And then there's this other pattern that I saw and I absolutely fell in love with. I don't even know if I know how to say it. Let me pull it up. I'm going to put it on the screen for you because it's gorgeous, but I really want to make it. So last week I was looking for yarn for it, and I found some really pretty yarn that I'm excited to use. It's called the Shusui Shrug. I don't know. I'm a homeschooler. I really don't know how to pronounce things. So if you know what it's called, let me know. It is by Susanne Sommer, and it is stunning. Shocker, it's brioche, but oh my gosh, it is so pretty. So I went looking for yarn because I was thinking of maybe some Dragon Horde yarn or Yarn Cafe Creations, and when I was looking at Yarn Cafe Creations website, I saw yarn and I was like, oh, that's really pretty. And then I was like, wait, I have that yarn. So I went and got it out of my yarn cubby that's just right above me and was like, yes, that's what I'll use for it. So this is what I'm going to use. It's still in the packaging from when I got it forever ago. This is Angel Cake, and it is on her Cafe au Lait fingering 4-ply. It's 100% superwash polyworth, which I'm not really sure what all that means right now, but happy fall, y'all. Like seriously, I think this was either last fall or the fall before that I got this. So I was like, oh, yes, perfect. So this is gonna be my main color of the Shrug. And then I was like, I want a solid to go with it. And I don't have any solids. So I don't have very many solids. And I'm definitely not like a sweater's quantity worth. So I went looking on Moonglow's website because Whitney has the absolute best tonals possible. So I found this really beautiful purple that, let me see, what is it called? I just ordered it today. It is called Lunar Lavender by Moonglow. It's like a 2 to 3 week turnaround, I think, for her to mail it out to you. But her shop was on like sleep mode or whatever for the last week or so. So I had to wait till today to order it, which was killing me because I wanted it so bad. So I'm going to pair that with this yarn. And then there's that really funky edging on the Shrug, and I picked these that I had in my stash, and I'm gonna pick one of these to do that edging with. I don't know which one yet, so if you have an idea of which one you think would go best with these, let me know. Because I kind of want that pop of color. So I don't know if I want to go like completely crazy with a different color. I don't know. I think I'll decide more when I'm making it. But if I had had the purple yarn from Moonglow already, I think I would have already cast this on. Because I really, really want it. It's so pretty. So I'm going to either make the size 3 or the size 4. And yeah, as soon as I guess I could probably, no, I gotta wait and do my swatch with it and everything when I get the other yarn. But I'm really, really excited. I think I'll only use 2 skeins of that, so I'll still have a skein left over, but it's stash yarn, so I'm really happy to be using that again. Yeah. So I'm really, really excited to make that. So I want to, in September, have that cast on, have my Boxy cast on, and make my socks for Brian and Felicity. And then I also want, this should be finished fairly quickly, my tank. And then I also want to finish my shorts. So yeah, we'll see if I can get all that done. It's supposed to be a pretty chill month, so yeah. But that is what plans I have for September. So I wanted to touch on Summer Sock Camp for just a second. This is the 4th annual, I think, or 3rd annual. Maybe it's the 3rd annual Summer Sock Camp. I've done all 3, so it must have been, yeah, just 3. So I've done them every year, and yeah, I've really enjoyed doing them. This year, my first year, I had a goal of like 2 or 3 socks. And then last year I had a goal of being in every single cabin, which if you're not familiar, she does a double pointed needles cabin, a magic loop, a 9-inch circular, and a wild card cabin. So last year my goal was to get into all 4 cabins with a pair of socks, and I did that. I used DPNs for the first time with socks. I used 9-inch circulars, my favorite, magic loop, and then I also did the 2 16-inch circulars, which I also don't mind doing at all. It's just not my go-to. Magic loop's totally my go-to. But this year I didn't have any goals. I was kind of like, I'm not really feeling socks. Like, I'm in that, not wanting to keep making socks when I'm not really gonna wear them. So I didn't have a goal. But I ended up making 9 pairs of socks on accident. I was like, I don't want to make socks, and then I made 9 pairs in 3 months. So I'll show a few pictures of the socks that I did for this year's camp. They were all magic loop this year. I did not attempt to do any other form. So I submitted 9 pairs to the magic loop cabin, and I am a proud magic looper. So I am happy with that. But yeah, I love summer sock camp every year. Last year I won a prize, and that was really fun. So yeah, I really just do it for fun because it's fun to knit along with other people and see what they're making. So that was my not goal, but my product of the summer, 9 pairs of socks. So a lot has changed for us in September. We moved, if you didn't know. But yeah, we went from Lubbock, Texas to just outside Louisville, Kentucky. It was about a 15-hour drive, and we took 3 days and did that, about 5-ish hours each day of driving time. And yeah, it was really fun. I made 2 vlogs about it. The first one was about all of my prep that I do, which is like the cleaning and like prepping stuff inside the house, and then the second one was more of what we actually have to do to move, like putting the kayak up and taking the camper down, and like that kind of stuff, and the move, and then the setup. So I'm going to link the second part of it here. The first part was linked in the beginning, or you can just find it on my channel if you are interested in any of that. It was a lot of fun to vlog the way. I was exhausted by the end of it, so the footage kind of gets less and less. But we have now been here. It'll be 2 weeks tomorrow, which will be 2 weeks, 2 days ago for you when you're watching this, if you're watching on the day it comes out. So we are definitely settled. It took us about 36 hours to be completely unpacked and have the fence up and have everything done, and yeah. So it was a quick setup. It was really nice. We had some issues, but I'll let you watch the vlog if you want to hear about all that. But we had a really smooth trip, very uneventful, had made good time, and had our safety. So I thank God for that, and thank Him for answering all of my prayers, and thank you for all of your well wishes and any prayers or good thoughts you might have sent our way. We really appreciate it. They were definitely felt. So what have we been doing since we've been here? We've been here 2 weeks, and it feels like we've been here a little longer. The town that we are in is very close, so we have everything we need about 15 minutes away. We've been going and eating food and doing all that stuff. I know where the Chick-fil-A is and the Walmart, and yeah, and they have a steak and shake, which has been so yummy because we haven't had steak and shake in forever. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we've only lived in one town that had a steak and shake, so it's been really nice. Then this area is very populated with history, so we have tons of like Civil War battle sites, and Abraham Lincoln was born nearby. There's just a ton of history here, so we're really looking forward to getting to go and do these things, especially since COVID's kind of died down a little bit and we feel like we're able to go out and do more. It's been so long since we felt like we were able to. It's been like 2 years since we've been able to go and do things, and I forgot how much we explored cities when we moved to them. So we're excited to do that. We'd like to do something at least like once a week or once every other week or something. This past week we went down about 45 minutes from where we live. The dog is right behind you and she keeps kicking her feet every time. But this week we went down to Mammoth Caves, which was really fun. We had a lot of fun doing that. It is the world's longest cave system in the world, or known longest cave system in the world. It has like 500 and some miles of caves, and it's not like a little cave. Like, it's ginormous. I'll put in some video here for you. It was really, really fun. We have like a weird thing with caves. We love to go to them. I don't know. Me and Brian have done that since we were dating. We've gone to all these different caves. Like, we've been to caves in Virginia and North Carolina and Utah, and now Kentucky. And there might be somewhere else, but those are the ones I can think of right now. The kids really enjoyed it. We went on an extended history tour, which is about 2 hours long. And I don't even think we saw half of the cave that they do tours in. So that was really fun. We all really enjoyed that. We were all really sore the next day. And I am now wearing a fun knee brace because apparently I'm old. But we plan to go back. There were a whole bunch of other caves down there that weren't connected to Mammoth Cave. And there's also another tour that we would like to do at Mammoth Cave. So we hope to go back and do that. They have a safari park down there with a cave and kind of different things like that. So we're excited to explore the area a little more. Let me think what else. I'm trying to think. Oh, it's supposed to rain this week. I'm so excited. It's supposed to rain like all week. So if you watched my cleaning vlog, I think I was talking about the flake effect and how wherever we go, there is weird weather. In Lubbock this summer, they literally had the hottest summer on record. Like, normally Lubbock has maybe 5 days all summer of 100 degrees. This summer we had maybe 5 days that weren't 100 degrees or more. It was hot, so hot. And so for the weeks that we knew that we were coming here, like the few weeks before, I would look at the weather and I'd be like, oh, it's raining there and it's 10 degrees cooler than here and it just looks so nice. Do you know what happened when we moved? The day we moved, it started raining. And it basically hasn't stopped there. And it's also been colder there than here. What? Like, why? I don't know what it is. But yesterday Lubbock had about 3 inches of rain, I think. And they're not meant to have that much rain. And I think it's rained like 2 or 3 days here. Yeah. It's been crazy. It's just crazy. I can't get past it. But, you know, I don't know what kind of winter we're going to bring to poor Kentucky, but I apologize in advance because it's going to be interesting. But no, the weather's been nice here. I mean, it's a little muggy sometimes, but that's okay. It's not 100 degrees, and that's the point that really matters. So we're enjoying it. It's getting chilly at night, and it's green everywhere, and there's lightning bugs, which is so cool, and butterflies. These are things you don't see when you're in Texas. So it's funny the things you miss, or the things that you don't miss until you get back to where they are, and you're like, oh my gosh, there are lightning bugs. It was the coolest thing. So, you know, it was nice. So this upcoming month, I hope it's going to be really nothing happening. I want a boring month, so like throw in some history here, some caves there, and let us have a boring month. Next month we have some travel and things happening, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this month being boring. Yes, very boring. What else was I going to tell you guys? Boring month. We have a lot of history. I have some gift knits that I need to work on or figure out, so I need to probably get my button gear and finish that out or figure that out for the next month. And then I was going to go over just some things that we watched this month that you might be interested in. I don't know if you like that, but I like to hear what other people are reading and watching. So yeah, I'm going to just tell you a few things. So me personally, I watch things on my own when Brian's not here because he doesn't want to watch all of my crazy TV. But a few things that I watched. One was the latest season of Grantchester, which is on PBS. It is a British period drama about a vicar and a cop who kind of solve murders together. I loved this season. I thought it was really, really good, and the ending of the season had me a bit shocked, but I'm really happy. So I loved that. I finished that last week and it was perfect. Loved it. And then I've also been watching the new Pretty Little Liars that's on HBO Max. It is quite different than the original, which I watched back in my early 20s probably. And I loved it. I was obsessed, even though it kind of went off on a crazy train. But I like how they're doing this season. The first couple episodes, I wasn't really sure if I was going to like it, but now I have one episode left to watch tonight, and I'm totally hooked. I want to know all the answers, and I have my theories too. Another thing that I watched on my own was the movie Purple Hearts on Netflix. It was a really good, like, feel-good, cute movie, so I would suggest that if you're interested in it. And then Brian and I watched a few things. The one thing, we watched a movie called The Gray Man, also on Netflix, and it had who did it had? It had Captain America, can't think of his name right now, and Ryan Gosling in it, who apparently is a knitter, if you didn't know. So that was really good. I enjoyed it. It was kind of like, it was just a watch people beat the crap out of each other type movie. It was entertaining. I would watch it once. And then we also watched the latest season of The Witcher, which I enjoyed way more than the first season. We still had to skip a few parts, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was way better than the first season. So I'm looking forward to the third season whenever they do that. And let me see. We are currently watching Sandman, but I don't know if I like it or not. I don't know. Lupin is all kinds of weird in it, and it's giving me weird vibes. So, I don't know. We're like halfway through. I'm sure we'll finish it, but I'm not sure if I like it. And the last thing that we watched, which is an absolute must, I feel like, is Junior Bake Off on Netflix. Sandman and Witcher are also on Netflix. But Junior Bake Off, if you are a fan of the Great British Bake Off, then Junior Bake Off is amazing. It was so cute. I don't know how long it's been on Netflix. It might have been on there for a while, but we just ran across it and loved it so much. Those kids had us cracking up, and I mean, they can cook things. They're like 10-year-olds that can cook things that I can't cook. Not that I'm a great cook or anything, but I'm like, whoa. I have a 10-year-old and he could not do that. He can make himself ramen, and that's about it. But yeah, those were the things that we kind of watched this month and enjoyed. So yeah, I think that's about all I have to say about it. If you are interested in the Love and Stitches membership, which is by Knitty Natty, it will be opening on October 3rd, I believe. I'll have the link down below for you guys, but it's a great community of knitters and crocheters if you're looking for that. We do Zooms and events and make-alongs and swaps and all sorts of things, and it's really fabulous, and I love being a part of it, and we're always loving to have more people join. We love growing our community. So if you're interested in that, I'll have the link down below, and you can ask me any questions you want. Let me think. Anything else? I think that was about all I had to say, and I think this is going to be long because I've been talking for like an hour and 20 minutes. So yeah, it was a wild month. It was good. We are now in Kentucky. I have a different background, and yeah, we're excited to see what happens next. So I will maybe do a little day in the life vlog or some type of vlog in between now and next month's episode. Speaking of, I did mention that I was thinking about doing episodes every 2 weeks instead of once a month. And I think I've decided that until at least the end of the year, I'm going to keep it at 1 a month, and then possibly change it to two times a month in the new year. I think I'll just keep it the same for the first year, and then we'll just see how it goes. Although I did put out like 3 vlogs this month, kind of. Ugh. I need to stop talking because I'm not making sense, but I'm going to stop now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next month. Hey y'all, it's Beth. Lord. I also forgot to, sorry, they looked crazy. Hi, Stormy. Future makes. So, I want to use those. What am I talking about? Where did it even go? It ran away from me. Yarn. Where did it go? Oh, heavens. There it went. I'm a hot mess today.